Okay, this video is to talk a little bit about the expectations for your project scope and deliverables assignment. As you can see, this assignment is worth a lot of points, and I want to go through some helpful tips to get this one done. Your clients have a copy of this document, but they've been instructed not to fill it out, but that it will be students' job to fill this out upon meeting with them. But I wanted to give your clients a copy of this so that they might be a little bit prepared. But my anticipation is most of them will not have either opened or looked at this document. Your group, as explained in the first communication with your client video, is expected to put together a project plan and scope out the deliverables, as we're calling them, for this semester. These deliverables is really the key element that I'm looking for in this document. I'd like you to fill it all out. Now, as I mentioned before, and I'll mention again, making it look good is really important. In this case, I really just want you to fill out this document itself and fill in the empty boxes. I've kind of built this template for you that you can kind of put in your notes and conversations. I want to walk you through this document and highlight some key points of it. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. The document can be found in your Canvas files or here on the actual assignment. There's a little bit of introduction that goes through a little bit of the scope, expectations of the project. I want to highlight a couple of things. One of the things I want to highlight is the amount of work that I'm explaining to your clients. Being that this is a 3-credit class, that's 9 hours of work outside of class. That's kind of the standard at universities. So if that's 9 hours of work outside of class for a 3-hour class credit times 12, that's 108 hours times 4 to 5 students. You can see that's a lot of hours of work. Now, of course, some of those hours will be given to individual assignments that I have for you, but I could easily expect about 100 hours per student per project for their clients. So that gives you an idea of kind of what I'm expecting to be delivered for your client this semester. So going through, you can start to see as you scroll down the blanks that I want you to fill out. Some things might make more sense than others. Using this little information that I've provided you at the bottom of this document here will help you fill out blanks. So Project Champion, why that might be different than project name or organization, is the individual sponsoring the project may not be the individual that's going to be your point of contact through the project. So make sure you get that clear. Okay. Object, it's kind of just the general scope of the project. What kind of marketing project is it going to be? The deliverables. This is the heart of your document. You will be delivering or drafting 4 to 5 deliverables. These deliverables need to be measurable, successful, achievable, right? All the SMART goals that might be for this semester. That means when you get done with this deliverable, reread it and ask yourselves, is there any subjectivity to how this deliverable can be graded, or is it very concrete and specific as to what's expected of us, and can the professor then grade us on it? The second thing I'd like you to ask yourselves, how much time is this deliverable going to take? Did I really just create a task that can be done very quickly? Or did I do really an overall scoping deliverable that's going to require multiple tasks to accomplish? That's what I'm looking for, and I have examples at the end of this document to help you with that. Outside the scope of the document, this is really helpful if conversations or things come up when you're meeting with the client and you start to go on tangents and you talk about how awesome the world could be. You want to make sure that those exciting ideas that are part of the deliverables we call it creep, project creep. You don't want it to creep into the project and have them to keep adding more things. So if there's clear things that are outside the scope of the project, even though they were discussed, it's good to put it here. Just that way you kind of got this clear expectation of understanding of what's required. Required resources. This is really important. If you're going to do a social media campaign, if you're going to do a website audit, if you're going to do ad campaigns, you need to make sure that you get access to those things. Putting those things here on the document helps remind you and remind the client, look, in order to be successful, you've promised to get us access to this collateral. So please do so, and we can remind them of that. Okay, so Available resources, this is good to ask. I have this one in here just saying, hey, what internal resources as a part of the organization is available to us as students? What kind of budget might be available? What kind of software do you have, or software tools could we buy? The part of this project is to leverage resources, both your own personal resources and the resources that the client may have. Now, you want to document that others might have accomplished work for you, and you don't want to take credit for someone else's work. That's plagiarism. But you are encouraged, in this case, if they're willing to give you resources to help you accomplish your goals and do things, by all means, leverage those resources, leverage those people, leverage that software. We've had clients who have just asked our students to, manage even third parties who get the work done for them. All of that's part of this, and the more that you can accomplish by having someone else do the work this semester is fabulous. Just don't take credit for it, but take credit for the project management of it. Hands down, absolutely great idea. Okay, then likely challenges, first iteration, and delivery. This box is really important to me this semester. This is a new box. In about 3 weeks after your first meeting, you are going to deliver something to your client. That something is some sort of content, because every project's a little bit different. Excuse me. Because every project's a little bit different, I can't be concrete as to what this content piece will be. But I want you to set a goal out there, just saying, hey, in 3 weeks, if we were to accomplish something, not necessarily one of our deliverables, but if we were going to perhaps show you a social media campaign or a brand message, what would that look like in 3 weeks that we can make sure we get credit for in class, and we make sure that you as the client are happy with the direction we're giving you, happy with the content that we can create, that we're on the same page with the branding and the voice and the style, whatever it might be. This is a great opportunity to have that conversation today with the client and say, what would you like to see first that we could deliver to you to make sure you approve and are excited by the work product that we have? So having that conversation in this first meeting would be really beneficial too. Okay, at the bottom of this document, what I've written up is, I'm going to download this document so maybe we can zoom in. There we go. I've written up examples of good deliverables and bad deliverables. I want to talk about the poor deliverables and explain why they're poor, if not for obvious reasons. First example, these are actual real deliverables that I got back from teams in various semesters, so I'm not just making these up. Potentially contact chief security officers at target companies. What's the problem with that? So you're telling me that you're going to deliver at the end of a semester that you may have contacted chief security officers? So you can kind of see the tongue-in-cheek of that one, that clearly that's an idea, but that should never have made it into the actual deliverable. Number 2, what are the popular hashtags in the industry? 10 most popular. This is a good start, but this goes back to that question, is this a task or is this a deliverable? How long would it take me to accomplish this deliverable? How many tasks are required to get this one done? In this case, this is probably something I could do in at most 1 hour, probably 30 minutes. That's not a deliverable, that's a task. Number 3, get $10,000 in new sales revenue. This goes back to my concern that making sure that your deliverables are something that you as a group can achieve. Very rarely do I have companies that have just asked me for my students to go out and sell for them. This is kind of a marketing management class. So in this case, you might be generating leads and opportunities, but you don't have the ability or responsibility to close those leads. Therefore, you can't be directly responsible for the actual revenue brought in during the semester. Therefore, this is not a good task because it's something that you would be held accountable for that you can't be responsible for. The next thing is prepare a marketing plan. Well, generally this is a good deliverable. The problem here is it's very subjective. My definition of a marketing plan is very different from your definition of a marketing plan, and that leaves a lot of ambiguity. If you're going to write a marketing plan, describe a little bit about what's going to go into that plan. Explain to me the guts and meats. What part of that marketing plan is most important? Is this case you're going to write 5 or 6 different campaigns and they're going to pick from one at the end of the semester? Or is it you're actually going to write a plan with a budget, with a strategy, with a market research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So be as specific as you can, be as comprehensive as you can, and make sure the deliverable is not a task. So let's look at a couple of examples of some better deliverables, and you're welcome to go through many of these. Let's see example 1. There are 2 aspects of our first deliverable. We will research the competitive landscape space to get an idea of what competitors exist in this field and what technology they are utilizing in the industry, as well as research what technology millennials are using and how they are banking. The second part of this deliverable is identifying their product brand and associated identity. This will include the preliminary creation of a logo, slogan, and brand strategy that will be representative of our campaign. Fantastic. Not only will they do the research, it's hard to show the results of your research, but I like that they put that in here, and the results of the research will be included in their content creation of logo, slogan, and brand strategy. So they're going to justify and validate how and why they came up with their logo and strategy. Really good. Let's look at example number 2. Create 4 Facebook pages, so that's for each part of their business. 5 posts on each Facebook page will be scheduled, 20 high-quality posts set. And then, I don't love the second half, but the idea is to have the salesman take over the content development and posting. That could have been reworded because what they did is actually created a how-to guide, kind of an instructional guide, to have the salespeople in this company be responsible for the content generation. So that they could have written a little bit better. But you get the idea of a little bit more specifics there. 3, create a promotional strategy designed specifically for billboards. Complete a concept, design, and 3 specific ads to run along I-15. Execute a month-long campaign using a $500 budget to run creative campaigns. Great. So this specific deliverable, we're going to create, concept, identify, publish, and actually observe the results. Okay, and on you can go on these deliverables. So take some time to review these deliverables and talk to your clients. Now, one thing you'll have heard me before say, or I'll say now just to reiterate, remember, many of your clients are still unsure or not real skilled in marketing. They're also not sure of what your skills that you bring to the table, and most likely could leverage just about any marketing skill that you have, and sales skills too. So when you meet with your clients, again, I reiterate, take the time to share with them a little bit about your education, what tools you've used, what tools you've learned, where your strengths lie, what experience from maybe even the workplace is at. If you're photography or videography, bring that to the table, bring that up. If that's something you're passionate about and can utilize in helping their project. I don't know any project that probably can't use some of that. Ask them good questions. That's why I'm having you create those question sheets. Help them discover a little bit more about opportunities to create a better marketing funnel. Remember, it doesn't always have to be about conversions. Many companies are still struggling with awareness, struggling with identity, struggling with branding, struggling with their website, struggling with content, struggling with social media, struggling with their research of their competitors. I mean, there's many struggles that companies are facing and many opportunities for you to really help the company further and improve their marketing. So I remind you that at times these clients will see you as the expert, which is a little bit intimidating if you ask me, given that you're college, seniors. So feel that out as you meet with your clients. If you want to take on that identity of an absolute consulting genius, marketing genius, be my guest. But I would recommend you manage expectations, reminding them that you're college students, letting them know that some of you have part-time, full-time jobs, and just make sure that you manage the scope of the project of getting it done. Make sure, though, that there's enough in the project to fulfill a semester of work. So, when you come back and you say you're going to write one blog post, well, I know how long it takes me to write one blog post. The question is, how high of quality a blog post do you write? If you're going to write a 500-word blog post and just one, that's just not enough. If you're going to do a lot of content and it's, you're going to create 10 blog posts of 1,000 words, that's getting closer, that's getting warmer. But the next thing, maybe you create 8 high-quality, keyword researched, keyword stuffed, really high-end, well-written, reviewed by the Writing Center at UVU, and gone through some software. I have some software that will edit blogs for you and show you where you stand and those type of things. So, it really depends on the breadth of what you're going to do, and I really want to see a lot of quality deliverables this semester. So looking forward to it. Again, contact me if you have any questions.